Hey everybody, it's Matt from the house, and in this video we're going to show you how to push on your skateboard and get yourself around. Let's check this out. All right, you got your first skateboard. You're excited, you want to get out and use this thing. Don't blame you. Super fun. So obviously pushing around on your skateboard, that's how you get around and how you get the board moving. You can't do anything else unless you know how to push around, right? So it's a pretty easy thing to do, and really it just takes some time of just going out and doing it. You know, some people catch on a little faster than others, depending on how athletic you are. But there are some little tips here and there that can definitely help along the way and help you get to that point where you feel comfortable pushing around. But again, the biggest thing is just doing it over and over and building that muscle memory. One thing that I like to say to do is find yourself a nice big empty parking lot, something that's nice and smooth, or if you've got like a long road that's not a lot of cars, you'd obviously want to stay safe, or not a lot of people. The more you can ride and actually get out and push around, the faster you're gonna learn too. So right off the bat, obviously when you're standing on your skateboard, you see everybody standing on their skateboard sideways. You know, we turn the board and we do tricks and we do everything sideways on the board. However, when you push on a board, you don't wanna be standing sideways. You have to push with your foot parallel to the board, but it's a little awkward when your front foot is perpendicular to the board. So right off the bat, you're gonna take your front foot, you're gonna set it on the board. Usually I say not in the middle, but kind of somewhere between the middle and where the kick starts to go up. So you can stand right over those bolts for some stability, even back a little bit, just wherever you feel most comfortable. You know, I always tell people usually to start out with your toes sitting right on those bolts of the front truck. But again, start off with your foot pointed straight. You know, we're not gonna go sideways. We wanna point it straight because as we're pushing, we want our body and our shoulders to be pointed in the direction we're going. It's a little bit more comfortable that way. And again, you get a lot easier push. You're not twisting up your body, your upper body and your lower body and trying to make everything, you know, come together in the end. So again, set that front foot on there, and the biggest thing about this too is that most of your weight is on that front leg. And in fact, for most of the time, all of your weight is on that front leg because you're balancing on that front leg. You want a nice, obviously strong leg and strong stance on there. And as you start to push, you are gonna be transferring a little bit of that weight, but not a lot. And basically what you need to do is when you do push, obviously you just gotta put a little bit of weight on that foot, because if you don't, you're not going anywhere. And you're gonna push off with your toes. And you kind of roll off of your toes, a nice, easy, smooth motion. A lot of people do tend to take the board and put it down and they take real quick, like you feel a little uneasy and you take those really quick pushes. And you don't wanna do that. That's a bad habit because again, you need to build that muscle up in your leg and you build that muscle memory in your front leg too, to be able to stand and to go up and down, you know, with your knee as you're pushing, because obviously you stand up on the board as you get ready to push, and then as you put your foot on the ground, it's at a different level, so you need to bend down a little bit to get that foot to the ground. So again, one thing you want to do is when you do take these pushes, you want to take them nice and slow and easy. Don't take those quick pushes. Those aren't going to help you in the long run, and it's actually going to take you longer to learn. But again, when you do set that foot down, you're going to set it down pretty close to, you know, where your foot is actually sitting on the board, maybe just a little bit behind it. And then again, nice easy pushes off of the toe and kind of let your foot roll on the ground until you give that, you know, final push off of your toes. So after you take a few pushes, and again, start out slow, work your way up, maybe take one push, see how that feels. Take two pushes, gradually work your way up and just get yourself to the point where you feel comfortable. But after you take however many pushes it takes for you to feel like you got enough speed that you're comfortable with, then you're just gonna take that back foot, set it on the board nice and easy. Now, the back foot, you are gonna set that on the board sideways. You want that foot in position, ready to go. You don't have to set it up on the tail, but try to keep it by this back truck. And if you want to set it on the tail, that's fine too. But I always say right over the trucks is usually some of the most, you know, stable places to have your feet. And obviously when you land on your skateboard doing tricks, they call it landing bolts. You land right on top of the bolts. It's a good stable place to land. But in general, set that back foot sideways on the board. So now it's in position and ready for, you know, ultimate stability, and it's also ready to turn the board. Now, your front foot is obviously still pointed straight, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna take a little bit of weight off of it. We're not picking it up off the board. That can cause the board to whip out from underneath you and you'd be a little bit more uncomfortable, but you're just gonna take a little bit of weight off and you're just gonna pivot your foot. It's literally just like if you have your foot on the ground and you're kind of shimmying it back and forth. Same thing, your foot's on the board, it's pointed towards the nose of the board, set your back foot down, and then just slide your foot into that sideways position. Now you're in a very comfortable stance. Turn just your head to see where you're going. Watch out for cracks, watch out for rocks, anything that be in the way, anything that can, you know, make those wheels stop. You get those little pebbles, and a lot of times if you hit them, if you're not going fast enough, they can actually make your board stop. Also, same thing with cracks. If your board gets stuck in a big crack that's, you know, around the size of your wheel, it can actually, you know, make the board stop. So you wanna keep an eye out for those. If you're gonna hit them, you wanna know so you can bail off the board if it does stop. But again, get yourself in that sideways position and then ride until the board stops. Do that over and over and over again. Another big thing too is if you ever feel uncomfortable on the board, don't try to stay on it. Take your weight from your foot that's on the board, put it all on the foot that's not on the board. If both of your feet are on the board and you're feeling uncomfortable, hop off both feet at the same time. Don't try to hop off with one foot. If you have, let's say, your back foot on the back here, you know, closer to the tail, and your front foot's on the bolts, and you hop off of your left foot, meaning you pick your right foot up first, now the board's gonna wanna do this and shoot out from underneath you. So again, if you feel uncomfortable, both feet at the same time off the board, whether it's on either side of the board or in front of you or behind the board too. So you just definitely wanna make sure that you stay nice and safe, and obviously, you know, we want you to keep riding and keep learning. Yeah, just stay safe. Take everything nice and slow and nice and easy, and you'll find that you'll actually figure it out pretty quick, and you'll be pushing faster and faster before you even know it. All right, well, thanks for checking out our video on how to push on a skateboard. Obviously, this is something that you gotta learn. You know, you can't skateboard if you're not rolling around. It's just not very fun if you're not. But yeah, if you got any questions about this video, or if you got any questions about any of those skate products at thehouse.com, leave us some comments down below. We're on there every single day. We're trying to answer your questions. Not only we want to get you into some good gear, but we want to make sure that you're obviously able to use it and have some fun on it safely too. Like, subscribe, make sure to get that notification bell on too so you can find out when all the new videos drop. And yeah, grab yourself a board, get yourself a nice empty area to go out and cruise around and get out and ride, because any day of riding is a good day of riding.